is just staying in touch with people. And I think, again, social media is a huge way to do that. Like, I may not text, people every day. I may not call them every day, but I'll sure as hell like a picture. I'll leave a comment. And you best believe a lot of people who say they don't, they're looking through the people who like their pictures all the time. They're looking at the people who watch their stories all the time.
So you more so focus on genuine love.
Of course, absolutely. And I think that's where everything stems from when you're gonna do something big or you're gonna do something with your brand or your name, you're gonna get that right back. That genuine love and affection. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say that.
Don't just connect with someone on Instagram or Twitter just because you're like, oh, Nisa, oh, she has X amount of followers. I'm going to follow her because I know she knows this person and I want to be. People see right through that. So I think like being genuine with your social media connections is important. And if you want to work with someone, say that off top. Like, I don't need you to try to be my friend because you want to work with me. That's weird. That's really, really bizarre. So I think you need to be honest and genuine with your connections online and be who you are. You don't need to put on a facade like Chris was saying. He's not necessarily the most personal, and I don't know if I would agree with that, but he's not the most outgoing person, the rah-rah person in the room. So to go into a space and be rah-rah just because you want to get the attention of XXL and Revolt and all these people, that's not gonna, you can't scale that. I want to get a full scope of what sorts of content I need to be producing that I might have a blind spot on. So for example, I am trying to produce more content for straight black men. That's a blind spot of mine because I'm not a straight black man. My team members aren't, for the most part, straight black men. So I need to know what kinds of content do you need, and I need to have another straight black man produce that, right? Because mental health, for example, is a hot topic, right? And I can totally create a space for black men to talk about mental health. Black boy joy, black whatever. But I'm not a black man, so it's not my space to create. But I can facilitate.
That's a fact.
So I need to talk to every black straight man from rich to poor, from Philly to New York to Detroit, and see what's the commonalities between all of them and how we can create space for them. I think Chris hit it on the head for the artist perspective. I think it's important for it to be cohesive. Make sure there's no spelling errors. Make sure if you're talking to Ayanna, you write hi Ayanna, not hi Chris. Make sure that any information that I would need to figure out if I would want to post you is in that email. I need to know your social media handles. I need to know what's the last single you dropped. I need to have the pitch deck. All of that information is important off top because this might be your only chance to talk to me, and you want to make a good impression. I think for writers, if they're pitching me a story, it's important to show me that you read Brainwash before. Like, don't pitch me a story about, I don't know, Nordic folk music, and I'm gonna look at you crazy. Like,
you didn't research my brand.
I don't, I think it's also important for you to include samples of your work. Don't just say, hey, I want to write a story about BDSM. I keep saying BDSM because sorry, that's on my mind. And not show me any reference work because that just prolongs the editorial process for me and my team. So I think as a writer, be short and sweet. Make sure you understand the platform that you're talking to. Make sure you have samples of your work and make sure you're being personal for sure.
I mean, because I was living with LA and living with Haley in the car, I mean, we were going home every day and smoking blunts and talking about what we didn't really like, about shit that we wanted to do better.
Gotcha.
So we'd sit around this kind of round table and just discuss like the shit that they hated in emails. And I just get high and laugh because I'm like, I actually love answering emails, you know? And they were like, well then shit, I'm going to copy you on these because I don't want to respond, you know? And then it was actually a joke that turned into me really managing all of them at one point. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Right? But I enjoy it. You know, everything from booking shows for them to figuring out, I mean, I just took Haley's group Mason on tour in August and we did a whole West Coast tour with 14 dates. And, you know, doing press releases for up and coming projects for Nakara. She's about to drop her debut album in the fall.
That's perfect. That's past management.
Well, you know, I mean, really, but I'm just trying to be out here with my friends and make money for all of us. You know, so that's really all it is, you know. It's really just about grinding with each other to get to the destination that we all want to be, which is make a lot of money and be happy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, making a lot of money means we can go on trips and do dope shit and buy a lot of weed and, you know, you know. Sending tech riders, making sure they have all the liquor and all the water backstage if that's what the fuck they want. You know, figuring out when we're in these 420 states, what kind of, I mean, people put weed on their riders all the time, you know, like figuring these small things out. It's not a lot, but it sets the precedent for when you do have a lot of followers, when you are packing out these amphitheaters, when you are at this level, how people are going to respect you and your team, you know. And again, like I talk about this feminine energy, like there aren't enough women taking care of women out here, and like on some real shit, like for me to navigate through an email and people, you know, don't even know for my signature if I sign at KJ, if I'm female or male or what I am, and you know, to get on the phone with me and hear my voice and then decide to talk to me a different way. I just peep that shit. So I like to be kept on copy, and I like to take care of my people and take care of my friends and make sure we all succeed.